UFC 304 is bound to be a good one this weekend, and you can get even closer to the action when you check out my partners, DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New to DraftKings? Check this out. New customers who bet just $5 get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Sonnen. DraftKings, the crown is yours. That's right. New customers can bet just $5 on anything and receive $150 in bonus bets instantly. DraftKings is giving new customers a shot to get in on the action all night long. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. DraftKings is the one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy, where you have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers use my promo code SONN and bet just $5 on anything and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SONN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Guys, being in New York City is so incredibly relevant and helpful to my story. They is the MMA community. You and I. Vocally, Joe Rogan. They want to find a way to get Alex Pereira and a world heavyweight championship. Now, you got to understand, the first thing you have to do is get him the fight, okay? But before you get into skills and can he do this and the length and the problems of Tom Aspinall and his size or Jon Jones and his experience, like before you do any of that, you got to get him the fight. And just from an argument standpoint, on one hand, right, you got a guy who's a double champion. I had him as my fighter of the year last year and 2023. But the argument that I made is that within that calendar year, and people told me, no, he can't be. He lost. He was stopped. He can't be fighter of the year. And within my argument was that within that calendar year, he was the 185-pound world champion, and he was the 205-pound world champion, and therefore, he is eligible. It's Chael's list, but that's my argument, and I have him as number one. So, you're not going to have a hard time with me. I believe a world championship at a weight class makes you a number one contender of a different weight class if you can make the weight. Now, I believe that, and I believe that firmly. But there's other people that are going to push back, and they're going to talk about, hey, wait a minute, there's a line and there's a list of guys, and he's no part of it. And there's dues that you have to pay, and you got to do it within the division, and he's no part of it. And as strong as my argument might be, which is a world championship, a sitting reigning world championship in one weight class, makes you a number one contender at a different weight class, it does change slightly when you're talking about heavyweight. Because you're talking about 60 pounds, and in some jurisdictions, 80. I know it's commonly believed by you guys that 265 is the limit, but in a number of jurisdictions, it's 285. So, things do appear to be a little bit different. And then if you move him to heavyweight, and the ultimate plan is to have him be, the ultimate dream, right? A promoter's dream would have him champ. And it's never been done. I do believe if Alex Pereira becomes champ, it ends the discussion of GOAT. When we start discussing GOAT, instead of saying the term GOAT and having to explain to somebody that stands for the greatest of all time, I do believe instead of doing that, we will just start saying Alex Pereira. Well, he's the Alex Pereira of his time. Oh man, that is the Alex Pereira of the 90s. So, I'm just sharing for you. It's a big deal and I understand it, but there is some complications. And whether you're willing to go as far down that journey as I am, which is to declare him the GOAT in the conversation, as a matter of fact. If you're willing to go down that journey or not, champ, interim champ, I want it to be the same thing, guys. I really do, but it's not. I really don't care what they put in front of world champion. I truly don't. I've taken any of them. If you go back in my career, Genie pops out of the bottle and you have a wish. Call me featherweight, call me lightweight, call me middleweight, call me heavyweight. Whatever they put in front of UFC champion, to me, doesn't matter. The world title is the world title. But champ, interim champ. It's different. It's never been done, and it's incredible, but it's different. And the point that I'm making, if they're going to make exceptions, if they're going to find a way, if they're going to try to get Alex Pereira to heavyweight, they're not going to try to get him to interim heavyweight. Now, those things can happen, and those things can happen organically. But I'm not talking about that. We're talking about a conspiracy. We're talking about putting on our foil hats and finding something behind the scenes that's a wish list, and that has already been done, and it's been done right in front of you, right in front of your eyes. Alex Pereira, the sport's biggest star. Conor McGregor is not licensed, and Sean O'Malley might disagree with what I just said, but it's between O'Malley and it's between Pereira. So to finish the story, let's call him the sport's biggest star. They placed at Madison Square Garden in a co-main event. They took their biggest star and purposely placed him down a spot. He's the sport's biggest star, but he's not even the biggest star on the card that night. Those are conflicts, and those don't generally happen. When you have two championship matches, sometimes you go, oh, they're co-main events, and you do this whole song and dance, but there's not. There's only one main event, and the biggest star goes into the main event. Not the biggest weight class, but this one's different. They went with weight class. And I'm just bringing to you why. The main event is Jon Jones versus Stipe. And there's no backup plan. There's no backup fighter. 1 year ago, in November of last year, that same fight, Jones versus Stipe, was signed for the same venue, Madison Square. There's a backup fighter. His name was Sergey Pavlich. There's not a backup fighter this time. And before you wonder why, because the backup fighter, should anything happen to Stipe Miocic, is already on the card. And his name is Alex Pereira.